Welcome to the Nailed It Wall.
Welcome to episode 20 of the Nailed It Wall. This week we are putting on our movie critic hats. Call me Siskel, call you
Ebert.
Even though we might be the most biased movie critics in history, it's all about playing with fire. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Welcome to this week's episode of the Nailed It Wall. I'm Mr. Lane.
And I'm Mrs. Scofield.
I'm Sam. Oh, and I'm Ella.
Well, we have our first repeat guest on the pod here. We cannot be more excited. The people have been asking. They said, we've got a fever, and the only cure is more Sam. So we're bringing him back by popular demand.
That's right.
It's also a shame that this is our 20th episode, and we are having Ella on for the first time. So shame on me and you that the fact is I get frustrated with GarageBand sometimes, and we record these, and sometimes the audio gets messed up, and I always say, just take it to Ella, and Ella fixes it in how many seconds?
Not even a minute, so under a minute. But if you think about it, Ella's been on almost all of our podcasts, every episode, but she's like the silent partner.
Oh, she is. She is the brains behind the operation. She makes us look good, and so we're so honored to have Ella on here finally, and we're going to start off every episode like we always do. Mrs. Schofield, how did you nail it and fail it this week?
Well, good news. I wrote mine down because mine was so epically bad that I did not want to forget this gem. So this week, to honor my obligation, or my commitment, I should say, to having lunch with the student that won that at Bingo.
I am so excited for this. I am so excited for this story.
Yeah. Well, I will say it was one of my worst failed ever. So anyway, I had touched base with her ahead of time, and I found out where she wanted to go. She said Panera, and I was like, I don't even know how you order from there. I thought, whatever. And so Ella was so sweet, right? Ella saw on, what did you see it on? Snapchat. She saw an advertisement for Grubhub, and they specifically were talking about how you could order Panera on Grubhub. So she was really sweet and sent that to me and said, okay, here's how you can order food. Well, I have never ordered food online.
Already I'm feeling a lot better because I've had this immense guilt the last 2 weeks, last week because you're like, I'm going to order on Uber Eats. I'm like, Uber Eats? Nobody uses Uber Eats. I'm like, go with Grubhub. And then now that Ella steered you towards Grubhub, I feel a lot better.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is ordering on Uber Eats. They said, well, anyway, I'll get back to that. Yeah, and the other one, the Postmates. Those are the two. So, yeah. Those are my thinking sounds. So, anyhow, I do not trust myself with that. I order pizza, and I do well with that, but it's not an app, it's like you call, right?
Well, might be, and...
Okay, hush now. So then, but I know my strengths, and I know my weaknesses, and very much like we're not good at directions. So even if I plug in an address, I don't always trust what it says is going to happen, because sometimes that leads me astray. So I did not want that to happen that day. I was paranoid. I actually said to your class period, what was that? First period of the day, I said, I'm going to be ordering this. I've never done this before. I'm going to need you guys to help me. I'd put the app on the phone early because I didn't want any glitches with the Wi-Fi. So I put the app on the phone. I had it all ready. So they said, oh, we'll come in and help you. So third period comes, and that's a good hour before they even go to lunch. And so I said, I'm so sorry. Like, I am teaching you, but we just have to pause one quick second. I just need to do this app. Well, I couldn't figure it out because what she wanted was like this special pick two, but it was like mac and cheese and a salad. And kudos to her. She's a fourth grader and she's ordering a salad. And
Can't
so
relate.
That is so my daughter, and I am proud and I'm tearing up. So anyhow, they figure out how to put that order in. All we had to do was put in my payment stuff and push order. Well, then the next class came in. So I said to my sweet girl, Kendall, okay, here, I put in my payment information. I put in the address wrong. Can you just edit it? And then she said, oops. And what she did was, instead of editing it, she hit submit order. And so we had a full panic attack so she took it upon herself to try and get someone on the phone for me. Took forever. Finally, they said, basically, there's nothing we can do. We're going to cancel this order. You have to go through it all again. But there's no way we were going to order Grubhub again because it was so traumatic. So we had to download the Panera app, and then I'm calling you frantically, and you said, okay, I'll swing by and pick it up. And so we order it, and then after I've sent you there, Grubhub lady calls from a New Jersey number, which of course I don't answer because I don't recognize the number, but then they call back a second time, which made me a little bit nervous. And so sure enough, she was trying to deliver my food to a location that does not exist, hence why I was trying to edit the address in the first place.
The best part was like half your home address and half Sierra Verde's
It
address.
literally was. It was half the Sierra Verde school and half my home address, which I have to tell you, that address does not exist. And so the lady was really nice, but I could tell she was not thrilled. Well, she wanted to just deliver it anyway, but that was almost that would have been about $80 in Panera. And that's a lot of Panera, and that's a super expensive lunch. So it did work out because you were able to swing by. I grabbed the girls that you were supposed to be having your bingo reward lunch with. I grabbed Kylie. My whole class was apologizing to Kylie because of me. And she ended up walking away with such a happy day. But that was one of my worst fail dates ever. It was awful.
It was epic. I was stressed out too because my girls, they wanted Culver's, so I was flying to Culver's, and then I got to Panera and I texted you a picture. I'm like, your name's not even on the board. And then I sat there for 5 minutes just waiting, and then your order was already done on the wall there, like kind of these little shelves there, just
so
sitting
bad.
there. And then she had such a blast. She was so
She was
excited.
so cute.
And like
Oh,
both
she
of
was so
our lunch groups kind of sat together, and it was so fun just having lunch and hanging out, and it was such a cool thing. Now,
It was.
the real question is, were you reimbursed for your Grubhub canceled
I haven't
order?
even gone on because what day
Out of
was
fear?
it? No, a little bit. No, a little bit. That was Wednesday, right? Wednesday, and then Thursday was such a busy day, and then we left right after work, essentially, to leave for California. And so I have not, and then I've had no break, no breath. Like, we've been so
You
busy.
basically just came back, and now you're filming the pod.
Yeah, that's not basically. That's literally what just happened. And so, yeah, I haven't even gone on. I did go in to make sure that when I took my darling daughter Ella to Brandy Melville, that there was money that I could buy her epic haul from that store. But other than that, I don't know if they charged me double. So.
And again, I just learned what Brandy Melville was 2 seconds ago, thanks to our man Sam here.
Arizonians, we need to make a big push because it is an outrage that I have to take my kid all the way to California to be getting these clothes, and they are actually they're cute. I like them. So
I agree.
Ella is very traumatized, but it's a fun thing. They do sell it here, but it's like in Nordstrom's in a section and in PacSun.
In a Nordstrom in Scottsdale, and that is it.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably
is
super
groundbreaking,
overpriced as
folks.
well.
No, it's not overpriced. It's actually.
That's the travesty.
Yeah, that is the travesty.
It's so
We're
great.
very upset, and so we had a really good trip.
Sam is on the edge of his seat right now.
Probably literally. And then I nailed it in a good way. I had a lot actually this week, but the one that I wanted to talk about is I did Rubik's Cube. I brought it out with this quarter, and other quarters that I've done that. It takes a while for them to get the hang of it, and they kind of they let the setbacks hold them back for longer periods of time than this group. And it surprised me, but I have a small group, and so because it's such a small group, I've been able to sit down and work with them and really talk that through. And I have been so blown away by the tenacity that I saw from the kids just in the amount of time that we've been working on it. And several of them, probably like a third of the class at this point, has solved it, if not close to a half. But that's huge because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
adults.
hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's just hugely hard for adults. But Tony, I'm telling you, I think we should do this for a staff meeting thing, but just think about it. So, but I was really proud of them. And then the kids that did it are not the kids that you would normally, kind of picture sticking with those things. And so their sense of pride and like, oh my gosh, she was right. Like, I will be able to do this. That was such a highlight for me, definitely. And I did like our sports center too.
I was blown away by some of the kids that solved it. I'm like, that's so cool for them that they did this. Check out your Twitter page if you haven't checked out the pictures of those who have solved the cube this past week.
And they're on the
awesome.
Nailed It wall now.
They are on the Nailed It wall.
That's right.
Not the podcast, the actual wall.
Yeah, the wall.
Sam,
The real thing.
what's your Nailed It wall? What's your Nailed It this week?
Okay, so my Nailed It was probably, if you guys didn't know, we're doing Frozen Junior for the play.
Breaking news right here on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
It's hitting the interwebs right now.
If you've been living under a rock. I tried out, and I felt like I crushed it, and I was not able to see it live, but I'm very happy to say I have scored myself Hans.
Hans,
big
great
part.
role. Woohoo!
Yeah.
It's a big, big role.
And my failed it would be definitely underpacking for the many events that we encountered over the weekend.
Hashtag truth.
Yep.
Now, when did you start packing?
The night before.
That's
So.
better than me. I packed the day of.
Okay.
However, the problem is we were going to, while very casual, my dad's celebration of life was a very casual event. It wasn't so casual that you could just wear like a t-shirt, right? You like balance the casual upper or bottom, but whatever. You don't do both. So he just comes out and I was like, what are you thinking?
I had
Okay.
the same issue, so I feel like this was a communication problem.
Okay, let me just say this. Pants for me is dressing up. So when I came out and I showed her my pants, I was like expecting the okay. But then she was like, you need a collar shirt. And I was like, this is unheard of.
Yeah.
Why?
And you did not pack one. And Ella, thank goodness, my sister came to the rescue, and Ella also missed the memo. And clearly,
I think I was a step up from Sam.
100% step up, but
What about
still,
Sydney?
it was a baby step.
Sydney
Oh,
was
Sydney
was
overact.
classier than all of us.
Okay.
Yeah. Sydney
She outdid
was-
everybody.
She's a niggler.
Yeah, Sydney, she
That's all we
crushed
need to
it.
say.
So it was fine. And both the events, everybody was happy. It was good. We rallied. It was good. So what was your?
This
those
could
are
be
your two.
another failed it for you right here. The parent communication.
I did mention the general vibe. I will say in my defense, I did not know what everyone was going to be wearing. I think my sister told us.
She said jeans and a nice top, so that is what I brought. And apparently,
Nice top is relative.
apparently, I did not meet the expectation.
No,
That
you
is
did
right.
not. But you did look cute, and we rallied. It was fine. But what you wore to the event was super cute.
I know.
It really was. It
Was
was
it from
cute.
Brandy Melville?
No, it's from my aunt's closet.
Yeah,
Okay.
from-
All right.
Not
Very,
sponsored.
very
Well,
new
Jess-
store.
Jess coming through on
Yeah,
the podcast again.
right.
We need to have Jess on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, she will be fun.
Last week she called in as I was basically accusing her of not pulling her weight, and look at this, saving the Scofield kids when
Oh my gosh.
mom failed them in a communication memo.
That is so true.
That's right. Love you, Mom.
Yeah, thanks, son.
Ella, what was your nail that failed it of the week?
Okay, so we went to. Okay, so I'm gonna do my nailed it. So we went to California this weekend, and my cousin is 4. Correct? Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
And Sydney, my best friend, is very clean. And so to entertain them both and myself, I created Mega Bed. So we brought
Oh, yeah,
out
she was very proud of this.
we brought out an air mattress for Sydney to sleep on while we were out there. And to make more room in the bedroom, we stacked the air mattress on top of my cousin's bed. And so it was like a Princess and the Pea kind of deal where we had 2 mattresses. It was really awesome. Probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
Which is pretty sad to have you say that out loud.
Man,
but
I've done a
it
triple
was-
decker hammock.
It was a pretty epic bed, I have to say.
It was loved by all.
It was. I even got up on
Did,
it.
did
Yeah, I
Sam
slept on
scale
it.
this? Oh, Sam.
I did.
Yeah.
I was the first one to scale it.
Amelia, Finley, Sydney. It was
Everybody.
Was there any
family.
danger imposed? I'm
Yeah.
just thinking
Oh, yeah.
like the
Oh.
height, like
There was
fine.
danger.
It was
But I mean,
fine.
there was
For
this barrier
Amelia,
that kept
I mean,
no,
perhaps.
we kept an eye on
I
it.
was
Yeah.
more thinking Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
And then my failed it. I had my banquet for my badminton season
Oh, I
on
know what this
Tuesday.
is.
And I was really excited because I got to wear this dress that I've been wanting to wear, and I had these sandals that I was wanting to wear. And I get there, and we're like 5 minutes in, and I get these awful, awful blisters on my feet. Like, probably the worst ones I've ever had in my life. And they were just killing me. And so I could not wear Vans or anything that had a heel on them for the rest of the week. And finally, I was very excited I could wear them this weekend because I did not want to have to wear flip-flops for this entire weekend.
That's true.
I can feel the pain.
It was pretty intense, but I rallied. It was good.
And an awesome season by Mountain Ridge Badminton.
Fourth in the state.
Who did you guys lose to?
Perry.
Oh, man,
But
Perry and football, too.
We pushed them all the way to doubles, which has not happened yet, I don't think.
And you guys beat someone that you guys had never beat.
Yeah, Xavier. And all of the 9 years my coach has been doing this, he's never beat that team. We beat them.
Xavier prep, right? Because we're not talking about college. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Ella got to play JV quite a bit this year, which was a huge, huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Woohoo! Go
I
Ella!
know, I'm super pumped.
Now, Ridge has a powerhouse in badminton, and it's so cool, like what you're doing on the badminton team and seeing all those things. Like, I love seeing everything pop on Twitter. When I saw that you guys were in the playoffs and you guys were like in this like intense battle there, I was like, I need to know what happens. And then I text you, and you're like, oh, they lost, and I was like, oh.
It was such a bummer, though. It was such a bummer.
But one of my good friends won her game, and I was very proud of her. So.
Well, and I think that was what the coach instilled in them this year was like you play every single game to win. You just are trying to be part of the whole team. And so, like, although they didn't win collectively, that was a huge victory that her whole team celebrated on this girl's behalf, which is such a cool thing, you know. I love the community of them.
All right, well, mine nailed it this week, and we had a 3-day weekend. Last week we found out I was one of the recipients of the Fiesta Bowl. And I got to check our math last week. Me and you were sitting here trying to run the numbers. I was like, is it 100 teachers at $5,000 a pop? And it's actually our math was off about $500,000. It's 200 teachers received a $5,000 grant. So it was one of the largest education grants in the state of Arizona. And this past weekend, Rocket League had their huge like worldwide tournament. Like, it was insane, some of these things I was seeing on Twitter. So on Saturday night, I'm like, all right, we're gonna download this, Ryan. We're gonna play Rocket League, and we're gonna get into this. And so we downloaded it. Took 3 hours for this thing to download. Ooh. So like we couldn't start playing until about 7:30 at night.
Nice.
And Mr. Galletti, our principal, he's like, me and you were talking about the esports, the gamification. And we were going back and forth where, you know, like in the class, we want to do Mario Maker and the Nintendo Labo, but then like branch out and do a 7th and 8th grade esports club, start this year on the switches of doing Rocket League. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
I was there for you.
So yeah, so Rocket League, and then next year we want to get into building the PCs and start some high school or middle school tournaments around the state. Start gathering like who's running clubs and trying to get this middle school, and then have them compete maybe at the high school level.
Did you see
next
Sam's
year.
head whip around when you said that? I just want you to know.
I did not.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and anyone who says esports is not a sport, you could not be more
Talk
wrong.
to the hand.
Like, it is, in the past year, it is it has like 5 of the top 10 viewerships in terms of like sporting events around there. But why I say it's like a sport, we haven't had our air on. It's been, you know, when it cools down in Arizona, you can turn your air off.
Yeah.
I'm sure your house, the air is off.
Yeah, except for coming home
little
after
bit toasty.
a little bit toasty today after a few days off.
So yeah, so we actually had to turn our air back on. It was off for like 2 weeks, so we had to turn our AC back on because it got to like 87 degrees the other day.
We're so fragile now.
Yeah, we are.
Record-breaking
It's a toasty house. I mean, you don't open the windows, and then so me and Ryan and video games nowadays, like they don't give you these tutorials. So all of a sudden, like you're playing this game for like 2 seconds, they give you like this 5-second tutorial. And with me, I was like, I want to go through all these practice things. I'm like, let's go from the beginner, what are the middle level and expert, all these tutorials. And then all of a sudden, Ryan's like, I want to play. So we're doing these 3v3 tournaments. And mind you, these are, you know, they could be adults, kids. I'm an adult with a first grader. So it's me and Ryan and this other person. And, like, you know, these people take things serious. You just see their comments going. And then we're in all these battles. And I just have to say, in the amount of hours that I've played the last 3 days, I've gotten pretty good at Rocket League.
Nice.
To the point that I'm like getting upset at Ryan, where I'm like, "Are you kidding me? We gotta focus here. Like, you gotta come with me." And then I have to like stop myself and be like, "All right, he's in first grade, and he's like getting some goals in these matches." And like, you would love Rocket League. It's almost like, you know, when Splatoon came out, got a couple Christmases, I went on a bender and I was like, this game is just so fun. I was forcing the kids to play it like all the time. I can't wait for the next Splatoon. Splatoon is just like a video game where you go around kind of painting your opponent's field and everything. But
it
yeah, the
doesn't
turf,
sound cool when you say it, but it is seriously such a fun.
Addicting.
It is so fun.
Oh, I didn't even explain Rocket League. So anyways, Rocket League is basically you have these cars, you can power them up, and you're playing soccer. Your favorite
I'm
sport.
super pumped.
And there are different power-ups and
Yes.
stuff.
Are you a big Rocket League person?
I am a Rocket League
You are
person.
PC, or are you...
You know, I don't own the game, but I've played it many a time, so I am pretty addicted to it.
So it is addicting, yeah. So it just took over my entire weekend. I had all these goals that I want to do, fix things around the house. None of those were accomplished this past weekend. So much to the fact that my daughter was just sitting there as a cheerleader half the time, just begging to play, and we're in this 3v3. Like, you can't get in. Like, we can't just switch you out and put you in. But mind you, the first night we played, I let Ryan stay up till 10:30, and the house was a little hot, and these battles get so intense. Like, I could see you playing it, and like you'd be losing your mind. Ryan, I had to have him take a shower because like he was in like his boxers and no t-shirt. He just sweating like, 'cause, I mean, just like douse like because the house is so warm. But it gets intense. Like, I mean, you're just like, and it's just like it takes over your soul. And like when I saw these pictures on like Twitter about people watching it and like how big this like world tournament was, like I could see it. Like I was like, I went to bed, I was like dreaming about it. Ryan is not a morning person. He woke up, he was the first person up in the morning. Never is the first person up. He's like, Rocket League. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And like we went right back to it, and it was great to have these 3 days to really minus my poor daughter,
So
but
you
spend
need
some
to
time with
you
my
need to
little
teach
guy.
me now. So
But
wait,
you'll be
before-
obsessed. You'll be obsessed.
Oh, I'm super pumped. But before you go to your other thing, you know, it's funny because you're like you got annoyed with Ryan about like where you
I just
where
love
you
the
are.
win.
But here's what's funny is it's humbling because that's only going to be a little bit longer, and then you know he's going to far surpass us in like no time, and that's what's so crazy about these
The
things.
thing is, like, he's getting good, and like that's
He's
the
going
thing
to
that
surpass us.
yeah, and it's fun, and I was just blown away. I mean, just like the whole like culture of it, and how it was all over Twitter, and just how it took me over, and I'm like, wow, you don't understand. We're playing with somebody. This
So you
like
always
means
play
something.
3 people?
We could do 3v3 or 4v4,
Okay.
but 4v4 is a little much for me.
Oh, I'm
so,
super pumped. I got to try
That's
this.
the big leagues, people.
That is the big leagues. Are there 4 goals though? Like if you do
No.
Have you
it's
seen
just
this
the
before? Ella's
No.
face is completely confused.
two. But
I haven't either.
And then, but you like talk about that power. I was talking with Mr. Galletti, and Carter was in here, who's in 7th grade, and we were only going to open up the esports club to 7th and 8th graders. And then a 6th grader came in and just like, he's like, I heard about this esports club,
That's
and
awesome.
tell me about it. And he wanted to know everything, but then like he was upset that it wasn't going to be on PC. He's like, I only play on PC. I'll come see you next year,
Yeah,
like when you
phase
roll the
2.
PCs, like so. But you know, those kind of things happen, and it was pretty cool, and you're going to be
cannot wait.
obsessed.
I'm
You
super
are
pumped.
going to be obsessed, and I'm actually thinking about it right now. Like I'm on the pod,
I can
and
see
I'm
it.
like,
I can smell it.
I'm distracted to the point that I'm wondering, like, is Ryan playing right now?
That is
You know,
hilarious.
you talked about watching it. I can just imagine the stress that people accumulate by watching this game.
Oh, and the last minute, when the last minute comes on, and you are in this like battle, and like you're down 1, or like it's, I don't know,
Drenching
it's
sweat.
we think about like how like the culture of our school in terms of like soft skills. I think this like esports and the Minecraft education is just going to take it to a whole new level where people around the state are going to kind of look to like our model and like what we did in terms of gamification and where we're able to push these kids.
Are the comments nice? Are people nice?
They were very nice. They were like kind of like speed comments. I was
Okay.
like, great shot, nice
Okay.
pass, like
Okay.
so just like a click of a button.
That's good.
But I was watching them to
Yeah.
make sure I didn't have to turn them off, and I mostly
Mom
wanted
coming out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Comments
But
nice.
yeah.
You hush yourself there.
But I really can't think of a fail that my nail that was so good that I just feel like I'm good at Rocket League, and I could compete with these kids when we roll it out.
Really, you can't think of one failed it?
I'm just on such a high right now, so
Okay,
don't bring me down.
Okay, I support you.
Yes.
I support you.
Well, with that-
You definitely nailed it on the announcements thing, I have to say.
We took the announcements on the road this week. A surprise to you.
So much fun.
We filmed live from the Kinder Pod. The kids were so excited. We were sitting in Kinder chairs. We were on the Kinder playground.
I was wondering why Boone's head, like his chin, is resting on the table, but everybody else is like trying to sit up. But Boone is legit, just his head is on the table, and I was like, how is this possible?
And the coolest thing was like some of their memories from kindergarten.
so cute.
I love what Brady said about he's an 8th grader and recalling like the teddy bear picnic and something that I love for my kids. And so cool that these 8th graders remembered
I
it.
love that you
So
did that. That was awesome.
we took it back. We took the announcements on the road to the Kinder Pod.
Check them out. They're on Twitter.
Now, with that being said, you guys had an epic weekend.
We
you want to
did.
share?
Totally.
That's just barely scratching the surface.
Yeah. So, well, how do you want us to break that down?
I
Because
think you start with a celebration of your dad's life. I mean, this
Okay,
has been
so talk
such a
about
big
that.
part of our podcast. And
do you guys want me to do you want me to start with it, or do you want to?
Sure, you can start.
Okay, so this Saturday we did a celebration of my dad's life. He passed away. Ella knows the day,
August 26th,
and the sad thing is she knows that because why?
2 days after my best friend's birthday.
So that's rough. So, yeah.
Yikes.
So, but we won't forget. So, but it was pretty far out. So we're celebrating in November. The reason we chose November was for a couple reasons. One is his birthday is in 2 days. So we were trying to do it close to when his birthday was to kind of celebrate him. And then the other reason was because we wanted to have enough time to really do something properly on the level that we wanted to, but then also give time for everybody to make arrangements to be there. And, what sets my dad apart is he is big on connections, like relationships with people.
Definitely.
And that was something that I think that we all took away from him for sure. And so there were a lot of people. I mean, I think there were 100 and something people there.
Felt like 2,000.
Yeah, it's probably because you gave a speech, so
Yeah.
it does feel like a lot more. So we had the celebration, and people came from all over, and we had it in this really cool brewery place because it's hard to find a venue. Like, I'm not a. How many?
You also want the venue to fit not only the event but also the person.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
feel
the
like
vibe
that
of your
kinda
dad.
Which
narrows it
that's
down
sending
a
the
little
wrong
bit.
message that we had it at a brewery. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. However, it's just his laid back vibe. It was super.
It was so nice.
Really
It was
cool.
chill.
It
Yeah,
was
it's like a
really cool,
like
kind of
warehousey,
industrial.
yeah.
It was really cool looking.
Yeah, it really was, and the vibe was really casual, and that's what we wanted it to be, very casual and for kind of like
Not the
very,
outfits. The outfits were
very
not
casual.
not casual enough for a t-shirt and jeans, but almost that casual. And the people were so nice. Well, that was almost a failed it because the lady really wanted us to come and look at the venue beforehand, but my brother and I. We were going to be there Friday, so we could go down Friday. Well, with a big party and stuff, you get caught up in all the stuff that you're having to do, and there were things that trumped going down there as far as Jess's to-do list for us. And so we kept putting it off. But I really wanted to go down there, and Jess was kind of like, I don't see it happening. And the thing is, I don't do parties like that. Like, I show up and I'm a worker, but do I plan birthday parties or that's?
I'm the opposite. I like the planning
She's
part
good at
of
that
it.
stuff, and
I
I'm
don't
not.
like maintaining it.
Yeah.
I do neither.
Planning it.
Yes, yeah.
I participate in
Yeah, that's true.
festivities.
So I wanted to see the space just so we kind of had an idea of what we needed. So the lady said basically if you're gonna come see the space, you need to be here no later than 5:30 because there's an event tonight and you won't be able to get in to see it. And this was 3:15, but we're in Woodland Hills, and this was, I don't even know, was that
An hour
LA?
away.
Yeah,
something like
it was far.
It was about an hour with the traffic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so by the time we left, it was 3:30. No, I'm sorry. It was not 3:30. We just made it. We got there with 3 minutes to spare before 5:30. So whatever the timing was for that, I
Did
think.
the event start at 5:30?
Well, so they were there, but they were there, but they were super cool. And then they felt bad because, we were talking about our dad passing away. And so then they felt really bad. And it was just so cool. Like, we hung out with these people that were having an event. We're like looking at the space and like walking, and, like, there's cornhole in there, bean bags, and a Connect 4 game. And I don't even know. It was just so darts. It was just the coolest vibe. And then when we left there, then we knew it was going to be good. Like, that made us feel like, okay, we chose right. Because you just want to honor that person, And then also we called Becky, our dear friend Becky, and said, okay, here's all the pictures. You have to make this amazing. And so she did.
Of course.
She did. That's
She
what
showed
she
up.
did.
She had toilet paper holders and clothing racks and hangers,
Crates
and
and
she was ready to go.
Makeup,
She's like, all right,
all
let's
the deal.
get it.
I
A
genuinely.
shirt for Sam.
Yeah.
She did
No,
she
that
no.
Close.
But it was so crazy. But the community of it, and then do you guys want to talk about the event? Like,
Sure. I think, the day before we kind of hustled, and then the day of, we got there. We had to set up some music issues and
you were
the
kind of in
slideshow.
charge of that.
I'm not very good at setting up the pretty side of it.
That was me. I
Yeah.
did all the handwriting and the writing and the words.
I'm technical. I'm more of the technical side. I had to figure out the HDMI shows. We had to figure out how to hook it up to the
The AV system and all that.
It was because there was this cord that was going over the walkway, and the old people almost tripped over it.
So I had to fix that.
So yeah, and then
Did you duct tape it down?
I did actually.
Nice.
He did a lot of good stuff. It was good.
And then during the event, it was kind of hard. You just saw so many things. The slideshow was really well put together, and then I got to say my speech. That was the highlight for me, one of the biggest highlights for me. That was so important to me, and I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have had such great closure because that was just so important for me, and I think everybody liked it. So yeah.
You did really good.
Yeah, and I like that, you were just so excited to give this speech. I love that you're wearing your Scofield jersey that you got with your dad and your grandfather when you went up to San Fran. We didn't even tell that story last time you were here when we recapped your summer.
Yeah.
Give us a brief recap of how long you were in a car.
I was in a car for about 24 hours over the span of a few days. I went up to San Fran to see my family.
Well, you drove out to Arizona, from Arizona.
From Arizona to California. We spent the night at my aunt's house, and then we drove all the way to San Francisco to see a game with my grandfather and my great uncle, I think. And so we went to the stadium, and I was really wanting a jersey, and I didn't know what kind of jersey I wanted. I had the rough idea, and I ended up getting this really nice black primary with orange striping one, and it's the second closest to the one that they wear on the field, so it's pretty cool. And I got it personalized with my number and my name. So
What's the significance of the number?
the number would be my birthday, which is 19.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for sharing that. I can't believe I forgot to tell that when you told me that story. I was just belly laughing when you were telling me about how long you were in the car.
that's hilarious.
You're like, I drove to California, then right up to San Francisco, spent it like a day there, taking it in, got back in the car, and you're like, when I break it down, I was in the car for 24 hours, like in a 2-day span.
I don't like cars.
Oh my gosh. Well, you spent a lot of time sleeping in one today, let me
That's
tell
true.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, he was napping for like such a long time.
Yeah. That's true.
It was a draining weekend in
So
every sense of
you
it.
talk about the event.
I had a really good time. It was nice to see like everyone. I didn't know like half of the people there, even the people I was related to, but we have a huge family, so that's really not that big of a surprise. But it was nice to see like all the lives he touched, and it was a little bit tough, but I had a really good time. It was nice to have like all my family there, and Finley, of course, just made it a blast. She was just bouncing off the walls, running around with her shoes off. It was crazy, but it was such a good time, and I feel like it was a really good way to like celebrate him. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah. And my sister and I have been working on kind of coming together with gathering pictures, and she asked me to do all of the music for the slideshow. And that's kind of tough because my dad has really eclectic taste, and so like music was a big part of him. So then you want to pick stuff that would really represent him. So you don't pick just like
Anything.
we're sad he died music. You want it to be like celebratory as well, and then
You also don't want it to be like a party because
you don't want it to be a party. So it's like you're not going to do like AC/DC or something, So it's kind of like that, towing the line on that. And so, but I found a lot of really good things that fit all of the criteria. And actually, again, we always give a shout out to Myra Romano, but she actually sent me quite a few suggestions too, which was super helpful. But it was awesome. And then so someone from Hollywood, somebody that does professional slideshows, and I don't know what he does. They do something with this. It's a big deal, though. They offered to do this for free for my dad. And so they made a slideshow, and it was like, I think it was around 7 minutes long. But what was real, and I did not watch it. I specifically didn't watch it until the event. And then I was kind of a mess for a little while after that. But the cool thing, what they did was they took videos and they would like zoom in on him, and then he's talking to you. So it was like, that was so weird, wasn't it? Like to have him talking to us, and some of the videos were from this summer when we did the whole karaoke day, when we recorded that, and I think I talked about that on the pod, like the beginning of this, but we knew that was a special day. Like we knew that was really, I don't know, something that we would look back on fondly. And so seeing that was really, really cool. And then they even had this one video, I don't even know who gave it to her, but it was of my dad and Sam. He had come out to Naperville, and they were doing construction in our living room, and he's
Taking out the pony wall.
They were taking out the pony wall. It's true. That's exactly what they were doing.
What is a pony wall?
A pony wall is like one of those little half walls.
so ugly.
So
and it had that wood paneling on the side.
It was really bad.
Classic 80s.
It was so bad. So that was, my dad had come out, and Sam was helping him.
lot of work
and
on
Sam
all of
must
our
have been like 5 or 6 in it, and he's got this surfer hair, it's like long, and
So
boy
funny.
band.
You can hear my mom.
Good
in the
old
background.
days.
Sam, don't hit it like that. Sam hits it like that. Sam, don't hit it like that. Sam hits it like that. Sam, don't hit it like that. Keeps hitting it in the same way.
But that's true. But that was really, really, that took me off guard too, because just seeing, like he's been such a big part of their entire lives, and like that's something that you hope for. To have for your kids, and so that was really, really special. And then there's another slideshow that's an hour long, and I don't even know how my sister's going to share this because it's an hour
File
long.
has to be huge.
It's gonna be huge, and so I haven't watched it because we were busy. People want to talk to you.
It's really
at the
good. I
event.
helped make it.
Yeah. So and
Ella, I was kind of put off when you told me some big Hollywood producer was making a slideshow. I'm like, what? Ella's the queen of slideshows.
Well, and
like
then they put
nobody
it
does a slideshow better than Ella. But if
They
you,
didn't use iMovie. Plug for iMovie. iMovie is the best.
Sponsor us.
I love iMovie.
She
so
really
much.
does, and she is a boss at it. And so she actually ended up getting kind of plugged into that right at the end, and was working on that. But that's like it's an hour long, and so I haven't seen all those pictures, and I have not. But that's a huge commitment. And so I think for Thanksgiving, I think we were going to try and watch that. Yeah. I know it's going to be a little sad. But, my dad was supposed to come to Thanksgiving with us, so that'll be the first.
His plan was to
Oh my gosh, yes.
bring an air mattress and pitch a tent on the patio.
have a hotel?
Nope, of our house.
Oh, you guys
Because
rented
we're
a house?
renting a house.
Okay.
But there's no space, so he's like, I don't need space. Let's do this.
Pitch a hammock on the floor.
There is no backyard. He's like, that's okay. I'll make room.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot he was saying that he would do that. And then the ultimate plan was he didn't want to pay for like a place that was like nice, so he was going to stay at some really dodgy motel place close by and then just come hang out with us. That's what he did last year. He stayed at this really awful hotel that was like so many problems, and so I guess that was his upgrade. Was he was going to? I don't even know. He is
Camp on the patio.
This is like I don't know. This is just like when you have to wait outside for like a new iPhone release.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Wait for.
He would have done it though.
Yeah, I mean,
Sam could have built that triple-decker hammock.
Oh,
that's right.
that's another story for another day.
Mine
was mega bed.
Mega bed.
Mega
Ella
bed.
maybe could have made a mega bed.
Triple hammock though.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
All right.
That was amazing.
All right. So
And with all that being said, how are you doing? How do you feel the fam's doing? Like,
I feel like it was super, super healing. And I agree with Sam, like the closure of it. I think his friends are they're in a better, that sounds a better place. That sounds bad. But I think they're mentally doing better now. And I think it was important for me to see so many people come out 2 months, at least 2 months after he had passed, to still celebrate him. Because as I said to you, if you go someplace in California, it is a really big commitment. It's a big commitment because it takes so long to get anywhere. And you're not just driving a long distance, you're driving a long distance in really heinous traffic where people are aggressive.
My mom does not like California traffic.
Okay, let's just not say much on the pod on that.
Oh yeah.
Let's not say much
Sydney
on
looked
the pod.
back at me and I was like, trust me, this is normal.
Let's just leave
just
it
look
there.
straight. Just look straight. Don't make eye contact.
Just leave it there. There was an accident on the freeway. We went out there, and that was pretty scary. But that was really scary. No, it was in front of us. Yeah, it was in front of us. So yeah, I know. So anyhow, that part was really nice, and I feel kind of like I addressed the fact that he died, and then like now then we'll just have like normal sadness, like a holiday or his birthday. It's kind of a big deal, and then all of those holidays, and then it'll just be random things where you think of them like, oh, I want to share this with them, and then you can't. But it's like regular stuff. But before, I just felt all this anxiety. And then the other thing is, not to like, I mean, I'm pretty open, but so I was talking to my uncle, and I mentioned to you that I have a lot of regret. Like, I feel bad. Like, you always feel like I should have done more. I should have called more. I should have done this more. And I had a really good talk with his brother, and he was like, that you can't hold on to that. And like, you teach full time, and it's a time consuming thing, and you did the best you could, and you need to not like hold that and carry that around. And that was really good for me to hear. Like, that helped me a lot. And I think it was hard for him because he's a chef, and so like he said my dad would call in the middle of rush time, like dinner time, and he'd be like, yeah, I can't actually talk to you.
This
and
is a
like,
restaurant?
why? And he's like, it's a restaurant. Like, it's a restaurant. People are like waiting in line for their food. And so he would say like my dad would do that to him too, and so that just gave me a better perspective of not like holding on to all that guilt, so that was good.
Well, sounds like an amazing weekend. With that being said, Sam's given an epic yawn here. You guys had, you had an opportunity to say goodbye, but you also had a truly amazing celebration the following day.
We did. Do you guys want to?
Finley's movie,
Yeah.
Playing with Fire, came out, and let me just say, I'm pretty sure mainly Sydney, but a lot of my friends probably want to kill me at this point because I've talked about it so much. They give me so much bad vibes about it. They're like, really? Your cousin's in a movie? You haven't mentioned it.
Ella, haters.
I know, right? And so I just like to say it was amazing, and definitely go see it. It was so cute. It really was just like a roller coaster of emotions. There was really funny parts.
I couldn't agree more. I was unexpecting
When you
it.
do that, that's not helpful.
There was actually some really like sad parts, and it was really amazing. And Finley was just so excited. She had this dress, and she was just giddy with all of the people who were coming out there to see her, and it was so cute.
Okay, we also did this pink carpet. It was the coolest thing because my aunt had this ring light, and you can like take selfies with this phone, and it's a ring light. So
on the light, you put your phone. The
Yeah.
phone goes on to
Yeah,
the ring
There's
light.
like a circle, and
Yeah.
then inside the circle, there's like a
Holster for a phone.
Sure, holster, tripod spot for you to put your phone, and then it has like one of those Bluetooth clicker thingies for you to
nice.
take the photos with. So it was really fun.
yeah, we had some great.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned the pink carpet. What you fail to mention is that Nain said You laid the carpet down. You pulled the things off for the adhesive, laid it down. It was crooked, had bumps in it, and she had to re-yank
I think this is the time that I should leave.
And you left a gap.
Have a good night, people.
One pink carpet from the next pink carpet, and so she wanted to actually kill you because the adhesive was no longer adhesive once she had to move it. But besides
Are there any
that,
pictures of these the gap? And
I don't
I
think
didn't
we
get to see
need
'cause I
any.
was out
I don't.
front with everybody.
don't
There was this really odd guy at the event, and we still don't know who he was. Did you guys see the guy with the earpiece? And he looked like Secret Service, and he would not identify like who he was with. He was not with the movie theater. It was really odd.
What?
Yeah,
Was he
you
in
did-
the theater
People are
watching the
confused
movie?
now.
He was watching
Which
us
is
out
funny
front.
because there's this part and they're like, oh, our parents are Secret Service
Yeah, well, they're
agents.
just joking, but.
And then tell like what Jess and Todd did.
Oh, so they rented out an entire, a theater, and so it
Did
was.
they pay for everyone's popcorn too?
They paid for all.
Snack pack.
What?
Yeah, snack pack.
My sister
Tried to
destroyed
deny
my
to some
Slurpee.
people. They're like, no, the snack packs are only for kids, and my aunt's like, no, they're not. We pay for them for everyone.
Yeah, so it was.
I'd be like, everyone get a snack pack.
snack
Fucking
pack.
Get them all, they're still hot.
Yeah, they didn't just get. They got popcorn, a fruit snack, and they got a Slurpee. And I
No,
was
you
like,
get a Slurpee or a drink.
Yeah.
I got a Slurpee in this cup.
Sam got
I'm
his
not
own
positive
Slurpee,
that was
but-
allowed, but whatever.
No,
So-
he bought himself
Oh, he bought it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
bought
could
my
get in
Slurpee.
the cup.
Okay.
And she
so
slurped it
anyhow,
down.
that
Like
was really
details.
cool, and it was packed. It was packed. Like there was, everyone showed up.
It was so cute. We were in a row, and then in front of us was Finley, and then like 10 little 4-year-olds
Yeah.
all watching the movie.
Oh
and
my
we
gosh,
watched.
so funny.
We when it was over, we looked down, and they were all like hovered up by the wall in front of all the chairs. No one was sitting in their seats. They were all just totally just like in love with
Entranced,
Yeah, it
enthralled.
was. Yeah, very nice, Sam. But it was
Showing
really,
off
really
my
cute
vocab.
to watch it like that, and I thought I really wanted to sit next to Finley until I got in there, and then I was really happy that I could just like enjoy it and not be paying attention to her too, because I would have really wanted to watch like all of her reactions and see her, but I just really just enjoyed it, and it was such a cute little movie, and it was just fun to do that with her, and like the whole history of this movie, like it felt like forever for it to come out, you know.
And the coolest thing was I saw on Twitter that the person that wrote this movie was a substitute teacher,
Yeah, I
and then he was
saw
like
that.
unemployed, and he kind of wrote this story, and then it was becoming a screenplay. And tell us who's in this movie.
So it has John Cena, who Sam has like.
You
worked-
can't see me.
We gotta go back to tell that story. Don't forget the
Did
Cena
you
story.
see though that they granted a wish
I
at
did
the
not.
premiere? So you know how he's
I'm
big
a mess
on.
with those. He's huge on Make a Wish.
Yeah,
I think he
so-
makes over like $500 a year.
No, I'm sorry, not the premiere. They for a Make a Wish, this girl got to be an extra in the movie. It was a
that's
wish
awesome.
that the director and Cena granted, and I didn't even see that until today on my long car ride home when I was just trolling for something to do. But so John Cena, John Leguizamo, Judy Greer.
Is she the love interest?
Yeah, she's the lady, and then
She's great. She's
you-
in a couple things I've seen.
Yeah, well, she's the mean friend in 13 Going on 30.
Oh, yeah.
That's how
Oh,
I always
yeah.
think of her.
Yeah.
She's like the mean one.
Don't know what that means, but okay.
Great
it's
movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie. And then, I think my favorite besides Finley was Keegan-Michael Key.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
He
Hilarious.
had me dying.
He
like,
when,
so funny.
okay, when you least expected it, the camera would turn slightly and he'd just be like
yeah, he would be
right
hilarious.
there. He'd just pop out from nowhere.
The bloopers at the end were hilarious.
yeah.
Like I wanted more bloopers. I was like, everyone like in the theater I was
There's
in.
a whole roll on YouTube. I have the link to it. It's just like 7 minutes of all these outtakes. Finley's in a whole bunch of them. It's so funny.
You gotta
It's
make
so
sure you
cute.
tweet that video out
haven't
this
seen
week.
that.
I sent it to you, Mom. You have it.
Another parent fail. attacking Mrs. Schofield on the pod. I love it. But we gotta tell Sam's epic fail story. So they filmed. Oh, you guys went up there for spring break.
Yeah.
So tell us about your trip to
we went
Vancouver.
up for spring break this year, right? Yeah, in March. Shut your face.
And they were about halfway through the filming process.
Yes, yeah, they were pretty close. Yeah, so even more than that because they started in January. Oh, was that end of January? So anyway, so then we got up there in March.
It was
and
cold.
It was cold. It was beautiful. And we'd never been
that
to
cold though. Like
it was bearable.
long
Yeah.
sleeves and
Yeah,
a
that's true.
jacket and some pants and you're
Yeah,
fine.
it was really fun. And so a beautiful city. We'd never been to Vancouver
Oh
before.
my gosh, so pretty.
So
At least
pretty.
where we were. I mean, we were, I think, in pretty much the center and probably in a nice area.
We
I
were
don't know.
not hurting. We were.
Yeah,
we
it
were
was.
really-
It was
Granville
nice
Island, you
where
know.
we were.
we were very fortunate. And so we went up there to, I really had very little, not faith in, but it wasn't a big priority to me to get onto the set. If I was going to, great, but I did know that my sister was worried because Ella and I both have, at that point now, Sam's become more popular with Finley, but at that time she would get really, really distracted with both of us. And so Jess was worried that if we showed up on the set, that would kind of throw her and she wouldn't do what she needed to do. And so I knew it wasn't super likely, but I was still holding hope. But Sam
Sam had his Ruthian moment.
I
He said
hyped this
before,
up so much.
He
did.
basically called his shot and was telling everyone, follow me on Instagram. Next week, I'm going to Vancouver. I'm getting my picture with John Cena. Take it away.
Okay, so I was all excited once
How many
I heard
people do you think you told that you were going to have your picture with John Cena?
my grade.
The entire grade,
entire-
120 plus kids.
Yeah. Well, I went out there and I was like, I was definitely disappointed. I was definitely a big downfall. But I got to experience so much there. It was just
It was so fun.
irrelevant after a
was
certain
so
point.
fun.
Well,
I
you
mean-
almost you might have been able to go to the
Right.
set. Like we thought, oh, there's a glimmer of hope, but then what happened?
And then Finley got sick.
She
And then that spread like wildfire. Cause we
And
were
I
all
was
in a-
the only one
we
who
were
didn't
all
get
in an
sick.
apartment, so then my aunt got sick, and then I got sick, and it was couldn't escape it.
Sick.
Playing
unless
with
you
fire.
left, I had left. So.
Yeah, my dad and my brother and I were out there for 9 days, which was so fun. I
Except for the
loved
burps.
it. Yeah, that was not
Let's
so
just
good.
not, please.
Not
But
the
it was
highlight,
beautiful.
not gonna
So,
lie.
and then the cool thing is we did get to meet Christian from the movie, and we went. What did we do with Christian?
We made pizzas.
Yeah,
Yum,
we
yum.
went to this place
Tum, tum.
that offered, like, at a certain time on a certain day, kids could come in and they could actually go into the back and make homemade pizzas. And we're not just talking like pre-made dough.
This
you
is
know,
not
like
amateur.
The crust. It was nice. Like we did a lot of the
roll
stuff,
the
and
dough and
it was really, really fun. And so that was cool to be able to spend that time with him and to see his relationship with Finley because they're really, really tight.
cute.
They're so cute. They really, really are very similar. I would say they seem more like brother and sister in person, like in real life, because they're so close than even what came across on the screen.
Right.
And I thought that they still seemed brother and sister in that.
Now, what was the feeling as you're watching your niece and your cousin like on the big screen?
Hashtag proud mom moment.
I was so proud and I was so happy for her because she honestly killed it. And I consider myself to be a pretty prestigious actor, but she blew me out of the water. Like, I don't know how she did that. That was incredible.
Well, and what I love about that, the whole Vancouver thing is, Jess was hugely pregnant at that point, and she was such a trooper. And but she couldn't entertain Finley as much as she normally would, and they get a little squirrely on the set. And so Finley would set up obstacle courses, and Keegan-Michael Key would just do all these things and like play with Finley. And like she had this huge jumpy house at one point, and they would come in and like they would actually like really spend time and play with her, especially John Leguizamo and Keegan. And that was so cool because I felt like they took care of my niece in a way that like I would want her taken care of in a very genuine, like, loving, familial way. And it just touched me because, you want that for her. And that's her experience. Like, so for her, she goes and watches this movie and she's like, she doesn't think of them as stars. She thinks of those as, oh, those are all my friends. And they are. Like, to her, they really are. It was very surreal.
Yeah. Ella, your thoughts?
It was awesome. I loved it. It was so much fun. I thought it was a great movie, but it could have been the worst movie in the world, and it would be my favorite because of Finley. But good news, it was not the worst movie in the world. It was pretty good.
And I can't get over the marketing for this movie.
Oh
I
my
mean, I
gosh.
sent you the tweet of the buses. They painted like fire trucks. They did the premiere in New York City. I mean, Times Square. They got that up there.
I saw
I
a
think
billboard of her.
I mean,
Oh,
gosh,
did
you
you?
should have just
Yeah.
had someone jump out of a plane and then their parachute be playing with fire,
Well,
Was that?
no, he said
No,
that
I'm
would
Oh,
be what
okay,
they
all
should
right,
have done.
okay. I was like,
when we
where
were
was that?
Step it
I was
up.
like, I missed that.
driving-
I was like,
Yeah, 2 events, but we were driving to my dad's thing, and Finley was like, I just saw a billboard for my movie, like a poster. And she signed. Oh, wait till you see it. I got it.
Priceless.
I have
one too.
I have a Playing with Fire poster that she signed for me, and mine was the first. And so
I was
we,
the rough draft, as we call it.
hashtag truth, because wait till you see this, it's hilarious. So she writes her name, and that was fine, and then I said, well, can you write it to me? And so she calls me cheeky, and so she writes the two, and she does it in these dashes, and I was like, what are you doing? Just like write the letters. And she's like, these are in sign language. And then she writes cheeky, and it's these weird scribble lines, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, these are in cursive, so I did part of yours in sign language and part of yours in cursive. So they think I got the worst end of the deal because mine looks different. But I have to say,
Unique.
that is going to be worth something someday. I tell you what.
gifted kid.
Oh, she is hilarious. Hilarious. And then she had her auditions today. She had 2 after we
She was
left.
so funny. We called her afterwards, after her first one. She goes, guys, I killed it. I think I'm going to Canada.
Because that's where they're recording this episode. And so, but she felt so confident, like for her. And
Probably hanging out with Sam all weekend.
well, it's true. And then, but the funny thing is the casting director was out in the hall, kind of setting up the next person. And when Finley came out to say that to my sister, she said, what did she say? And so my sister said, she goes, well, she did actually really do a good job with it. And she just got a big chuckle. But like for Finley, she really is like, she wants roles now. Like she really, really enjoys doing that, and it's fun to her. And then like she was practicing,
my
her
gosh,
lines
that was
while we
a
were
hit.
there. It was fun.
This so scary.
Yeah, she really loves it. Like she really loves to act, and she put on. I have some great videos to show you later, but she put on some musical performances for us.
They were
that-
beautiful, cinematic masterpieces.
They really were.
Let's just say shallow.
Yeah, shallow. There was a lot of feels in that one. Yeah, it was good. I mean, and so like you have the celebration of my dad's life, and then you see a lot of that life in that the vivacious side of my dad and channeled in Finley, and it's just like it's so cool because I thought it would be more sad, and it just wasn't. It was like a celebration and then a big celebration, and it was just kind of a natural thing. It didn't feel weird.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the director's chair
Oh my
was
gosh.
recovered.
Found it.
We were so like I think if I came back from that weekend and it had not been found, I think I would feel like something was missing. And so that was hugely important to all of us. And so the director's chair that the director had made for my dad, because he was such a big
He was like
he-
he's a stage grandpa.
he was he had a lot of feedback.
Could be a
and-
new reality show.
yeah, he was there, and he had a lot. Anyway, so he was a big part of the set. And so the director so kindly had a director's chair made for him, but we couldn't find it. Like after he died, we couldn't find it anywhere, and it just happened to show up. We still don't know where in the stuff at the house when they had sold it and were moving the stuff. And so they found it, and they brought it to his thing. And like for us, that was huge. The other thing, which I know we want to wrap up, but I will say this. The other thing that was the most amazing part of the weekend was finding, I had found letters, and I had told you, when we went through his stuff, I had found some letters, but we couldn't read all of them. And there are several years worth of letters that he wrote home from Vietnam. And reading those, and that was one of the things that took so much of my Friday. My sister wanted me to read through and see which ones we wanted to put out for people to see. But we could not, I think we only left out 4 out of I don't even know how many, a lot. He and his parents did a really good job corresponding back and forth, and his mom must have
His
kept all
penmanship
these.
is amazing.
Is amazing.
Sam.
It is no. Yeah, so not amazing. But the cool thing is
Thanks, Mom.
it is like a history book, and is so real. And he talks about attacks on Quezon. He talks about his time, like when he had malaria. He talks about getting hit by shrapnel. There's this one 4th of July, which I have to look at the date, and I think it's like 68, that the government, or like whatever, their people that were leading there, they put on an hour-long fireworks display for the troops, just an impromptu, because they felt like morale was low. And my dad writes about it, and he's like, I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. It is something I will always remember. And like the way he describes it. And there's so many huge moments. He talks about when Senator Kennedy gets killed, and he talks about that in there, and he talks about how his parents are seeing, the one I tweeted out was all about how he talked about how his parents are kind of freaking out about the culture, the music and the people and all of that, and like how unsettled they were because they were immigrated from another country and they didn't speak the language, and the 50s were pretty mild, and then all of a sudden the 60s are like crazy, and they didn't know how to process it. And then his role is oldest sibling to his brothers and his sister, and how he kept tending to them in his letters. It was just really, like, for us, those are like such a treasure.
It's hard to believe that the Vietnam War, is the 40th anniversary coming up this year, and talk about just like a deep dive into the history of everything that kind of, like you said, as the times are changing.
Yeah, well, and like,
Dylan.
But to read that this weekend, I forgot that it was Veterans Day weekend, and so it was just so raw and applicable to, when you're talking about what people went through and what they go through when they put themselves out there. And then he actually ended up in the military because he had little issues he got himself into some trouble, and so he had decided, he got kicked out of college because he made some poor life choices, and so he decided to sign himself up for the Marines because he knew he was going to get drafted now that he wasn't in college. And so he had caused some problems, and so he wrote to like this teacher who I think was like a priest at the school. So I don't have the letter that he had written to this teacher. However, he mentions this letter that he wrote to his parents. And then what we do have is that teacher's correspondence back. And it is so awesome. And it's funny too, because he basically is like, wow, you basically are not kind of a hot mess anymore, and like, good for you that you have evolved into this man, and I'm so proud of you, and I when you come back, I'd like to help you with your studies. And it was like this chapter that my dad kind of turned around in his life, and I just thought that was so cool to see that, and to have this teacher be so impressed with whatever my dad said. And in the letter he wrote to my grandparents, he said, I don't know if he'll forgive me, and I don't know what his response will be, but I feel like I needed to say those things and to make amends for the things I've done wrong, and so that will be enough for me no matter if he responds or not. So then he had to have been over the moon that the man not only responded but so positively. And like for us as teachers, those are those things that you would love to hear, someone come back and say like, hey, I appreciate you, and I realize I kind of was not in the right mindset, but here's where I am now. To like be able to hear a success story like that is amazing.
And truly, you think about like, your siblings and all of your siblings' kids and everything that you've done, and just this amazing weekend that you had to celebrate both your father and Finley. I saw the movie today. I encourage everybody. I saw a bunch of SV kids there today, so I was excited to see all the Sierra Verde kids at the theaters today. Big movie day today, so I think they brought in a lot of money today, but it truly was. I was not expecting the emotional roller coaster that this movie took me on. And I'm an unbiased wrestling fan. I was so excited. Like Shane McMahon, he tweeted out that he went to see the movie, and I was just so excited about that. And just from the wrestling standpoint, and just seeing Finley, she was just truly a star in this movie. And Mackenzie was getting emotional, and Ryan was just, he wasn't even calling her Zoey. He's like, Finley. He was just so excited about these like play-by-plays. And then one point they called Zoey Z in the movie, and then Mackenzie just had like the biggest smile on her face, and it's truly just an uplifting movie. I think like every time I see it on TBS or HBO, I'm gonna have to like stop whatever I'm doing for like 2 hours because I loved it so much. I was just all in on this movie, and the fact that John Cena now follows me on Twitter, I'm a bigger fan.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
What?
He follows me on Twitter, and then that when he tweeted out that video of Finley, like
Which
that
I
thing
would just
was like,
like to
did
say,
you record that?
I
bet that was
recorded
gonna
that
say
video.
that seemed like it had like your handprints all over it.
I
like,
recorded that video.
and that thing is like going viral. That thing's been like retweeted like so many times, and I had a feeling that you are the mastermind behind that, and that was a truly.
I have to say
well
though,
played on your
she came up with, like Jess said, she called. Where was she? I don't even know. I don't know if she was sleeping or if she was out somewhere, but she basically was like, I need you to get a video, and I need you basically to have her say something about her movie. And I heard pictures, right? Did we do a picture? If we did pictures first, and then I tweeted that out. She's like, I said a video, so I was like, oh. So I back to the drawing board, did the quick video, and then it was so cute. Like she just took that and ran with it, and it was the coolest. And then when John Cena retweeted it, I was so excited about that. I cannot believe he is following you. Like, this is awesome.
Well, the thing is, John Cena tweeted out a video of you. A video that you recorded. So, it was so cool.
So cool.
I just absolutely loved the movie. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. Finley was a true star of this movie, and there were some huge stars. I mean, what's his name? Keegan-Michael Key. Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key. He was hilarious. Like I was loving, but the
But you love Legs.
I love
John
Legs.
and he
I've
was
always loved him.
So good.
He was hilarious. It was just and the dog, like with the dog
Masher.
sleeping with Finley. I mean, the movie just has all the feels.
It was very cute. I won't lie.
I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but it was. There was multiple times where a bug flew into my eye, and I was like,
little dust.
But the fact that the movie was just so powerful in the terms that my daughter, like a 9-year-old, was just emotional in these parts and just made her really think and talk about these things, and it was just a great movie. Sam, what was your favorite part of the movie?
I'd have to say, I'm not when the stuff went up the sleeve, if you know what I'm talking about. That was definitely hilarious.
Boom, boom. And when it went on the mask, Ryan was like so confused. He's like, what's on the mask? What's on the mask? I'm like, figure it out.
I would rather not.
What about you, Elle?
Probably all the tissue moments where Keegan would just
yes.
slide the tissues.
What a great advertising plug for Kleenex, though.
No
kidding. Or like those little Kleenex. And then my only one question was like Cena, normal people like break apart a Kit Kat and like eat one Kit Kat at a time. In that last scene, he like takes the whole package and like uses like the whole package as one tissue. You'd usually think you would take like one tissue out. That was like he just used the whole thing as a tissue. I was like, I don't think you understand how tissues work.
No, I agree.
He's never cried before.
Clearly.
I wonder if they did that on purpose. That is true. That could have been part
that
of
was
their
something I
master
noticed.
plan.
Like I almost wanted to go back and watch the movie myself, and like I feel like we didn't do a good job like breaking down the movie. Like I wanted to take notes during it, but I was just so into it. And the birthday party was just the best. Like
that was really cute.
My favorite part was when Cena was like, let's buy gifts for the other two as well, and I was like, my heart was just melting at that moment.
It was so cute.
The theme of the story is don't drink tea.
True. I like that.
What was your highlight? What was your favorite part?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, it was very surreal to see my sweet girl up there. Like she made me so proud. But I really did. I agree with you. The birthday parties were really cute, and I love the sparkle pony things. Oh, I think I really enjoyed.
I love how Finley said that too.
Oh
it was
my
adorable.
gosh! Or the Post Malone and
Wu-Tang Clan.
Did she say Wu-Tang Clan? It was going so fast. I was like, half the people I didn't know, but then when she said the Post, Ryan like perked up when she said Post Malone.
So funny. I love that.
That was a great part.
Or like,
go see the movie.
Or like how they broke down My Little Pony and how they're all talking about like My Little Pony, and he's like, where'd you learn? He's like, San Quentin. They're like, college in Vermont.
And the fact that
sports history and kids.
The fact
And
that
cooking.
Finley has the little mini axe there, you got to see the movie to really get the true essence of this.
It really was cute. I'm glad that I finally got to see it. I will say that. I got a lot of messages from students and people that had gone to see it already before me, and then I know Jolyn was going to go see it after. I think she went like a show after you, and so it warms my heart that there was so much support for her too. You know, that means the world to me, that people came out to go see that, and you know, we're so kind about it, because you know that's not always the case.
It was amazing. I'm still laughing about it. My kids absolutely loved it. I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting the emotional roller coaster. I was thinking it was gonna be a happy-go-lucky, film, and then it took a dark turn. On me. And
Nickelodeon.
I didn't see it coming. But people, get your
expecting
popcorn ready. Ella, thank you for coming on. Sam, our first 2-time appearance on the podcast, giving the people what they want. Any last thoughts, Mrs. Schofield?
No, it's really, really nice to have Ella on, though. I will say that, because we do appreciate, I'd like to publicly say, we appreciate all the editing and all of the things that you do to help us get to do the things that we do.
And we need you to edit this right now.
Yeah, we will. And right
So we can
after we
upload
finish,
it.
yeah. Just quickly, we'll just do a real
Yeah.
quick I want to
All
say, in Ella's defense, she actually postponed finishing her homework just so she
Yes,
could
I will
come.
be doing it in my ACA prep tomorrow, so hopefully I have enough time.
Okay, well, thank you. On that note, we're going to end it there. Keep changing the world, people. If you like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're like us and you can't get enough of the Nailed It Wall, you can find me on Twitter. Search for Mr. Lane, the STEM guy.
And me at a positive proton.
I'm on Instagram's S_squared 19.
Is it underscore or undersquared?
Underscore squared.
Okay.
I'm not cool and I don't have Twitter, but my Instagram is l.sco.